Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenore and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Aquarius. If Aquarius is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right. So Aquarius, tonight we have, I know, it is the Tower card. So let's take a look, right? Now don't get worried. The Tower card doesn't always mean there's something going on right now. This could be in the past. This could be somebody in your life is going through it. You're around them, right? You are within their orbit, but it might not be exactly your tower, right? It could also be that this is something in the future. It could be the now. I don't know though. We have to take a look first and see. But don't be scared. Okay, let's go ahead and see. What do these tea leaves have to say tonight? And so if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. And if you'd like to leave a like or a comment, I would love to hear from you. So I'm getting a lot of goat energy here. So maybe Capricorn, maybe really the goat in general. And that is one of survival, of the ability to traverse difficult situations, right? Being able to climb up those steep hills, the face of a mountain, finding their foothold. Remaining, though, in good spirits, right? You think of the goat as being kind of goofy, having a good sense of humor, really able to get into any situation, any environment, and make it work for them. There's a lot of adaptability in that goat energy. So that's not a bad sign if we have that Tower card. Okay, so we also have a dragon up here, you can see. And it does look like it's wreaking havoc a little bit, right? You can see kind of, almost looks like a bird. It reminds me of like a fledgling or something, just kind of still kind of wobbly and very, very like cute because it's so ugly, right? But we have, yes, the dragon, and it looks like it's holding something here, and maybe a person down over here, somebody running away over here, also holding, it looks like the H, the letter H. So that could be a name or a word. Now, if you look at this, it looks like we have a person with a beard. You can see the eyes, the nose, the mouth, the kind of puffy beard that looks like a cloud. So I really get this feeling that there's been something that's been going on in your life where you are around this person more often, right? And I almost wonder if this is like maybe dad or grandpa or uncle or, somebody that you're close with, and their life has changed in such a way that they maybe need some extra help, and maybe they've even like moved in with you, and you're having to kind of take more care with them, of them, and there's just like this kind of really ornery disposition, and it has just absolutely changed the atmosphere of your life, where things maybe were feeling pretty decent there, right? Feeling kind of I don't know, like you were getting over the things that happened previously, and we had a couple difficult years, right? And working towards getting a lot of that stuff sorted out, moving forward, right? And I feel like that's where the energy has been. Now, it seems like there's this situation arising, and it's almost kind of like there's just such it's like an anger, right? An anger, an annoyance, a frustration, not knowing how to express their emotions, not knowing how to communicate in a way that is productive, that maybe is respectful. And now I wonder if this is maybe that they're not feeling well, right? Not that that's a good excuse, but, you know, there are some of us, and I'm pointing at myself, that when we're not feeling good, we can get pretty ornery, right? Pretty snappy. One of those people that just wants to be left alone, right? Let me feel sick by myself. Leave me alone. But I think that in this situation, yeah, it seems like they don't really necessarily have the faculties possibly to be taking care of themselves, at least in this period of time. And so I feel like it's really the second half of the year is going to, yeah, be kind of focused on figuring out, like, what are we going to do here? You know, and maybe this is like finding a place for them to live. You know, like a assisted living, or like a, I don't know, like a retirement community. I'm like, what are those places called? That sounds pretty cool, actually. Living in a retirement community. But, you know, something. Because it doesn't seem sustainable for you having them maybe like in your home, where you're sharing your roommates now. And it's like, you know, dude, you gotta chill out a little bit. We have to kind of get into our flow here, and it's just not happening. There's just this constant battle kind of arising. And you know, I feel like it has a lot to do with the way that they speak to you. Maybe they yell a lot. Maybe they're kind of belittling. They call names, or, you know, whatever. Say things that are very spiteful, or, you know, just difficult. It's difficult. It's difficult to be around somebody who you know is they're uncomfortable. They're having a hard time, and they're lashing out, kind of like a toddler, right? A young child, and you feel for them. You're empathetic, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, you're really making my life hard, and you're hurting my feelings. You are, you know, hurting me. You are, and so it's like, how do you kind of navigate that? You know, not easy, not an easy task. So let's go ahead. Let's keep looking. Now, I wanted to say also, dragon. We're in the year of the dragon. So this is why I believe that this really has to do with like the next portion of the year. I forgot to mention that. So that's the dragon. Okay, so we have a person on a horse. You can see the horse, you know, its tail is even raised. Look at it, it's going. And we have a person sitting, like, I'm up on my horse, I'm up out of here. I jumped right on the saddle, and I'm riding on out. And we have some other, you know, I'm reading these as people, really. And I almost feel like this is a situation where you just can't make any headway, right? You can't get through to them. They're not, and I'm talking about this figure over here, right? And so maybe it's kind of like you're calling up the siblings, you're calling up, you know, people who are involved in your life, asking for some assistance, maybe even planning, like where are they going to go? Where's dad going to go? Because he does not like living with me, you know, type of situation. And I feel like you really are on the ball of getting this moving because it has been so disruptive in your life. And let me say, this is a topic that I think it's really sensitive for most of us because we do want to help our family, and there's almost a bit of shame in not being able to care for somebody who you love, right? And it could be that maybe they're pretty ill, right? They're in pain, or maybe they have cognitive issues, memory issues, whatever it is. And it might be that you've had a difficult relationship all along, and now, you know, as an adult, you're finally working through some of your issues, and then suddenly you're in charge of taking care of somebody who really made your life pretty hard at one point or throughout, right, your childhood. And that's a complex thing to navigate. But a lot of people, you know, don't necessarily want to hear, like, yeah, I'm going through it because, you know, me and my sibling, or whoever, my auntie, my grandma, my whoever, we're not in a good place. We never really have been. And yeah, I'm the caretaker, and this is a really difficult situation, and I don't know if I can deal with this in my own home, right? And it's not really something you hear a lot of people saying, but listen, I think this happens all the time. Excuse me. You know, I think that if you've ever been in the role of taking care of others, especially family members, especially if you have complex relationships and dynamics, yeah, these are really natural feelings. And to want to find them a place that hopefully is safe, right, where they can be taken care of, where you have peace of mind, but also where you yourself can have some peace. Because that is important. It's important for each of us. And so I do feel like you are really, you're advocating for yourself here. There's a bit of self-preservation really kind of coming through. Now, these other family members, you know, as it often is, don't always take kindly, right, to somebody saying, hey, this is too much for me. Because then, guess what? Who has to take the responsibility? Yeah, them. And oftentimes, if you have a family who, you know, is lining up to help take care of somebody, you are very lucky because you are in the minority by far. There are lots of situations where no family shows up, right? So I do feel like, you know, this might be a little bit of a little bit of turmoil, a little bit of chaos in here, okay? And I think that it might be quite emotional. Because I feel you really will you're going to see who's really about that life, right? Who's really going to have your back and have the back of this person that you've been taking care of, you know. Most people don't want to be inconvenienced, and that's just the awful truth of things. And so... by the way, that's why it always makes me kind of laugh when people say, well, I want to have kids, so, you know, I'll have somebody to take care of me when I'm older. Like, what? Question marks all over. it's not promised, nor should it be, right? So I don't know. That seems like a strange reason anymore. Anyways, it used to maybe be that, yeah, you could rely on family to take care of you, but not, not so much in this modern era. So we also have WOE. So whoa, which is kind of it is an exclamation of sorrow, right? Of maybe some turmoil, of some melancholy, depression, anxiety. And so I understand kind of where this tower is at. I think it's really one of the more difficult things in life, where we really start to see, we might have this idea, like our family's so close and everything's so cool, everybody gets along so well, we're all on good terms, everything is really, pretty dang good. And then somebody gets sick or somebody transitions, and, there are things to sort out. The affairs need to be gone over. Things split up, and, even if there's the will, it gets tricky. A lot of emotions involved, a lot of agendas involved, and it can become quite a mess. And so, I feel like good for you for really sticking up for what you need. Even if you feel a little bit guilty for it, which is understandable. I think most people would. But that doesn't mean that you should really feel guilty at all. You need to take care of yourself, and if you are unable to deal with somebody, or, well, even just have the time and energies to take care of them, there's nothing to feel bad about, that you just can't, especially if you have tried, right? If you've been there and it's like, this is not working for them or for me. Now we also have, it looks like a scythe. We also have a bull who is rearing up. So I feel like there is a Taurus connection here. Gosh, there's people holding wands. It just I can imagine, as I'm sitting here, I'm just thinking about like the raised voices, the arguing, the hanging up, the text messages, just kind of like going to bed in this, like, you're anxious, you're feeling, wound up, and just not yourself, not the way that you want to live. And this feeling of, yes, I want to just get through this so I can get to the next part. Because this is awful. This feels terrible right now. And so I feel, hopefully and thankfully, you really advocating for what you need. And, having to make those difficult decisions. Now, you have the number 62, okay, so 62. We also have a 2 here. We also have a bird and a bird feeder. So I imagine that we have visitations, okay, and this is continued visitation from an elder, an ancestor, somebody who has transitioned. There's a feeling of them being really close to your life. You often feel them. They walk beside you. And there is I get this impression that there's almost kind of like there's a joy, they feel a joy by being part of your life, even after they have transitioned. Like, they're always kind of watching. They're always just a little ways off in the tree, hanging out, and it's a spiritual wholeness. And so I feel that it's always a very welcome energy for you to know that they're around. And I feel like they are quite often. Now I also see we have another cardinal up there. So I'm even wondering, yeah, there seems to be maybe two people. I almost wonder if this is a couple, like grandma, grandpa, or something like that. But they're very involved in your life, even after they have left their physical form. And I do feel like this is going to be a time where, you need their support, and they're there for you. They will be, okay? Now, I forgot to talk about the scythe there. So this is a sign of maybe death, of harvesting, of an end coming, right? Not necessarily like a physical death, right? But this to me feels like shutting the door on something, right? And allowing yourself to decide, I'm walking away from this situation, at least in the capacity that I have been involved. And, kind of taking from that the lessons you've learned. And, I think that sometimes it's all we can do, isn't it? Sometimes we have the best intentions and we hope, hey, I hope that I can be there and help and be the person to kind of alleviate some of the pain and struggle and whatever somebody's going through. But then you get in the situation and you're taking care of them and you're realizing I'm maybe not the most qualified person. I'm maybe not cut out for this, and there's nothing wrong with that. Okay. So, I think this is going to be a difficult overall experience for you, but, I can see you getting your way through it and getting to maybe a better place, right? Where things kind of get sorted out in a way that is beneficial to everybody involved. Okay. All right, we're going to do our self-care affirmation cards, and I'm just going to flip through and stop where it feels right. And it says, infinite potential. I am flexible. I move my body in ways that feel good. My body is relaxed and at ease. I am healthy and strong. I stretch towards my infinite potential. My infinite potential. Oh, yes. That's what I need to do. I need to get up and stretch a little bit. All right, Aquarius, I'm going to tell you I love you because I do, and I thank you so much for spending this time with me. It is always such an honor to be able to bring these messages to you. And if you would be so kind as to like the video, it really does help the channel. And if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. It is free to subscribe. And if you'd like to leave a comment, please do. I'd love to hear from you, especially if you're new to the channel. Definitely shout it out in the comments there. All right. Okay, Aquarius, I love you. Take care of yourself. We will be talking in just a few days from now. Okay, good night.